Good day. Before this video begins, I'd like to say a few things. First of all, this video doubles as my voice reveal video, and this is also the first time I'm actually using my voice on this channel, so that's pretty cool I guess. Secondly, this video features fellow Asylum content creator Basic Tabby on the last 2 layers, so massive thanks to him. Finally, I'd like to shout out this fella, Taco, from my Discord server. Please join it, because it's pretty dead, and I'm going to be shouting out a random person from every single video. Anyways, let's begin.
Item Asylum. A reference-filled randomizer fighting game on Roblox, which is perhaps one of the most chaotic and unpredictable games on the whole platform, and it is packed with a truckload of content. The game is a haven for pop culture nerds given how much stuff from memes and TV shows and other general stuff are in it. It also happens to be a game I'm pretty sure you guys are pretty familiar with, given I've made over 30 videos on it in the last year or so. If you're wondering what the hell an iceberg is, it's a template that looks like this, which features multiple layers of topics within a certain thing. The top ranges from well-known things, and the more it goes down, the more obscure and dark it becomes. The iceberg I'm going to be using is from this website, icebergcharts.com, and is created by the user Planners, so go check it out in the description. With that all done and said, sit back, relax, go get your nap gummies, as we get started with layer 1. Items. Item Asylum has, you guessed it, items, which is the most quintessential aspect of the game. Items are the things that you fight other players with, and since IA is a randomizer game, you'll never know what you'll be getting. There are 3 main item categories, melees being that short range stabby thing, range being stuff you throw at or shoot at people, and miscellaneous being that one extra ability that is either incredibly useful or incredibly useless. Badges. Like most Roblox games, Item Asylum has a lot of badges, which are unlockable in-game achievements which are displayed in your Roblox profile, and usually mean nothing except self-accomplishment. Item Asylum badges range from simple stuff like joining the damn game, to beating a very hard boss in a singular life. Updates. Like most active Roblox games, Item Asylum gets updates, surprisingly, which is basically more content that is added every now and then to provide something when a game gets too dull. As of recording this, the most recent update was the Christmas update. JPX Studios, which was originally and now is called Gene's Bizarre Community, is a Roblox group that is responsible for creating Item Asylum. A horrible mistake on their part, not gonna lie. The name JPX refers to the 3 original founding developers of the game, Gene, Port, and Zeros. Emotes. Emotes are the silly little actions that you make a character do, and they are usually bought from the shop. They're pretty funny, you got this dance, you got this thing, you got that other one, yeah. They're pretty common in most online games.
Tags. Tags are cosmetic name tags that you can purchase from the shop, which add something unique to your username in the chat. Most tags are simple, but some tags are unique and will actually do some pretty interesting things. For example, the Samsonite tag will replace the room you teleport to when using the presidential key to a different one. And the furry tag will... yeah. Maps. Another important part of the game. Maps are the main areas in which players will brawl out with each other. Some maps are set to a certain game mode, like 2-4 is exclusively a team deathmatch map.
Lobbies. Lobbies are an area which you will teleport to when a game ends. It gives you time to relax, emote, and also vote for the next map. Modes. Another important aspect to Item Asylum rounds will all have a different mode to them, with each being equally as chaotic as the other. These modes will include free-for-all, and every man for themselves fighting one, team deathmatch, a team-based fighting mode, and even stuff like Murder Mystery, which is quite literally just like every other murder mystery game out there on Roblox. Kits. Kits are a selection of items in a preset, which are exclusive to the kit game mode. In the kit mode, players are instead given a choice of 3 presets rather than the usual 3 random items. This is arguably the most popular mode in the game, because most of the kits are honestly really creative and extremely fun to use. Kits range from common kits, which typically have garbage or mere items, to legendary, which are usually stupidly overpowered. Gene, Port, and Zeros. This refers to Gene, RBLX, Porterboy, and Zeros, the founders of Gene's Bizarre Community and the creators of Item Asylum. Originally they wanted to create a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure styled game, but then they developed Item Asylum. There are many references to the 3 throughout the game, as there are 2 bosses based on them, and they also have a bunch of items referencing them as well, specifically Port mostly though. Bosses. Bosses are the main aspect of the boss game mode. Typically they are very hard to kill boss enemies, but some modes such as Man of Nature and Uncertified have you fight many ways along with the boss. Clayman. Clayman is one of the many bosses in Item Asylum. He is from the game Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion, and he is this weird, creepy red guy who summons a bunch of boulders and minions. Despite probably being the spookiest boss, he is also the most predictable and one of the easiest. The shutdown of 2024. Oh boy. This was an incident in September of last year when Asylum got shut down for a singular day due to issues with the game's data store. And holy moly, the community went absolutely ballistic, to the point where the admins had to lock the Discord server because of how much people were treating it like it was the end of the world. You can really see why they call this game an Asylum. Like, honestly, this is Batman Arkham subreddit levels insanity, dead ass. Stands. Stands are certain offensive items you can get from the miscellaneous item arrow. Yes, this is all a reference to JoJo's, obviously. Ultra Instinct items. These are synergies that you can get with the item Ultra Instinct, which typically just gives you drippy clothes. Some items will do unique things when interacting with it, with most just giving you even drippier clothes. But some of them will actually give really insane buffs, like the Fire Axe will give you a plus 12 speed bonus and play one of the hardest songs in the whole game. I made a whole video about this and it's my most viewed video, so go watch it. Clavina Roto. Clavina Roto is the creator of the randomizer game Illusions, who appears as himself as a boss in Asylum by the name Clev Prime. Item Rehabilitation Center. Probably one of the best names of a Roblox game ever. This is an Asylum heavily inspired game created by Doohickey Headquarter. It is basically the same formula with similar aspects and everything, but has different items and maps. Randomizer. A randomizer is a genre of games on Roblox, which are basically just fighting games that give you a random set of items, rather than you choose your own build. This could also be referring to that one randomized game on Roblox, which is literally just called Randomizer. Summons. Summons are minions which can be created by certain items, such as the Roomba creating a Roomba robot, the Golem from the Earth Tome, and chickens from the deployable chickens. They're a pretty fun way to spice up any battle you may be in. Juggernaut. The mode that always gets overwhelmingly voted for, and for good reason. Juggernaut is a mode which has one randomly selected player choose a powerful kit and basically become a playable boss fight called a Juggernaut. It is a very fun mode, and all the Juggernauts are pretty balanced. Faith the Unholy Trinity items. Faith the Unholy Trinity is a horror game created by Airdorf Games. It is actually pretty amazing, and it's known for its unique storytelling and art style. Anyways, Asylum has a lot of items which come from this game, all coming from the Cross Pendant. These items include the Scissors, Garcia Shotgun, and Gun with One Bullet. Durando. This is another randomizer game which is heavily inspired by Asylum, created by the Emerald Institute, and it's pretty similar to Asylum in almost every way. It is pretty fun, as there are many cool items such as Lunch Lee. Illusions. Illusions is another randomizer game, created by the aforementioned Clavina Roto. It is focused much more on references to media than memes, and its items are pretty detailed, with a lot of them having two abilities. The game is referenced in Asylum as the Illusions item, which appears as the Farron Greatsword from Dark Souls. Random Rumble, yet another randomizer game. Random Rumble is a much more cartoony and meme-based randomizer. This game also has its own item in Asylum, as the Random Rumble League melee item. Asylum Rejects. Alright, this is the last randomized game of tier 4, I swear. Asylum Rejects is an Asylum inspired randomizer, which is very much similar to Asylum, except with its own unique items, maps, gameplay mechanics, and other features. Project Moon items. Project Moon is a South Korean game developer, which has created games such as Lobotomy Corporation and Library of Runa. Out of all the media represented in Asylum, games created by Project Moon have much more presence than the average franchise. The Capo, Smile, Sullen Lament, Judgment, Twilight, and Mimicry are all from games created by Project Moon, and 2 maps also come from their games. You can really tell Asylum devs must like their stuff. Perfect Run. A perfect run is an in-game setting that can only be enabled in private server lobbies. What it does is that it makes every boss fight set players to a singular life, making the boss fights incredibly risky and forcing you to lock the crap in. For every boss fight in the game, you'll get a badge for completing it, and some will actually give you some pretty powerful items, so it's recommended you should do them. Sun on a Stick plus any fiery item. Sun on a Stick is a melee item, which initially appears underwhelming, as it deals 26 damage on a sluggish swing rate, and has pretty mid-range. However, this item has a lesser known synergy in which any item that sets enemies on fire will take 150 damage from Sun on a Stick, usually an instant kill. Infinite Welfare. Infinite Welfare is a randomizer game on Roblox, and it is basically the grandfather of all Roblox randomizer games, being where Item Asylum got its inspiration from. It plays out similar to most randomizers, but the game has a whopping 5 random items you spawn with, rather than the usual 3. The game also got a miscellaneous item in Item Asylum, as a homage to the game, with the Infinite Welfare Money Bag Bomb. Upgrade items. Did you know some items in Item Asylum can be upgraded when you reach a certain amount of kills? It's true. Some items such as the M1911, Real Knife and Lamp can be upgraded when you reach a certain amount of kills. Some of these upgraded forms of items like the AWP are often considered some of the game's best and will often be placed on S tier in a tier list all the time. Horrors of the Asylum. Horrors of the Asylum was a collaboration event between Item Asylum and another game called Midnight Horrors. In this collaboration, the game Midnight Horrors would add an event in which you fight Porter Boy, in which defeating him would give you an item, which we'll get onto later. Removed items. Item Asylum has a plethora of items that have existed but since been removed for whatever reason. These reasons could be copyright issues, which is the most obvious thing to occur in a game like Item Asylum, controversy involving source material, or bug fixes. I have actually made 2 videos dedicated to removed items, so go check those out so I can feed my family, please. "10-hour burst, man." This is a form you can get while drinking a 10-hour burst, which turns you into this fella. He also appears in a boss fight, and he is by far the game's most terrifying boss, being very hard to see and pulling out some of the most powerful items in the game. I like this top comment of this video. This boss is like fighting a private server admin, because that is literally what the boss fight is like. Silly Brawl. Silly Brawl is yet another randomizer game. This one is created by Silly Studio, and it's heavily inspired by Item Asylum. Anyways, Silly Brawl is sadly no longer in development, but you can still play the game, and it's pretty fun. Unused emotes. There are several emotes in the game that have been implemented in the main game, but you can only access them through admins and hackers. There's been a few, but the only one that's well documented is the Ferb Shuffle. If you know any others, please leave in the comments below, because I have no idea what the other ones are. Minions from Ouija and Anchor from the Sky. This entry refers to the infected minions, enemies that are primarily spawned by the Ouija boss. In this fight, they have 220 HP, and their only attack is to lock onto players, following them and dealing 15.5 damage when hitting. The perfect run item that Ouija gives, Anchor from the Sky, can also summon friendly versions of these enemies if an opponent is killed by the Dock ability. Plock remix of the Smiler. Usually when you merge in Item Asylum, it will play this song. However, by wearing any item that has the word Plock in it, you get a unique version of the song when you merge. This does nothing else, but it is a pretty cool Easter egg. Doglirium. This was a secret boss added as part of the Midnight Horrors collab. He is first accessed by collecting a bunch of dogs found around the many maps of Item Asylum, before eventually reaching the elusive lobby overlap. It's a pretty fun boss fight, and defeating Doglirium will give you a badge. However, Doglirium was removed from Item Asylum in version 1.7, due to developers not wanting to associate with Midnight Horrors anymore. Rest in peace, Doglirium.
Hey there, I'm Basic Tabby, a fellow Item Asylum content creator, and I'll be taking over this video because Red Sky asked me to, aka I begged him, and also subscribe to me and maybe Red Sky. Parrying the Death Note. Death Note is an item that typically works by insta-killing an opponent on click. It is one of the most broken, one-sided, and unfair items in the whole game, and there's seemingly nothing anybody can do about it. But there are actually numerous ways to counter it. The most obvious one is the Franklin Badge, which reflects several electric items, including the Death Note. But it can also be parried by tapping into the enemy's minds and using Shine right as they click you. So pretty neat. Secret Places. Item Asylum has several secret places, and this game has a crap ton of them. I mean, Red Sky made a very outdated video about them a while ago even. Some of the secret places in this game are like this room behind the wall in Poison, which can only be accessed with Hellgate, this boat on Snapple Island, the Oben Room and Castle, and so much more. Private server items. If you make a private server in Item Asylum, which is free by the way, you unlock the admin console, which allows you to spawn basically any item in the game, including some vaulted ones. There are also many unique items exclusive to this console, which are too overpowered to be in the main game. Cassie Bucks. Cassie Bucks is an original character created by an Item Asylum admin, Silly Samantha, and she is frequently referenced in the game, most notably by the lobby Cassie Bucks and the item Cassie Bucks, which show that Cassie Bucks is a very successful coffee establishment in Item Asylum. Game mechanics in Item Asylum. There's no reason for this to really be this low in the iceberg, but hey, rules are rules. Game mechanics in Item Asylum is probably a general term for the, well, game mechanics in Item Asylum. There's basic stuff like 3 randomized items, the many game modes, and then you get to this stuff like the debuffs, poison, bleeding. Overall, it's literally just the game mechanics of Item Asylum. Carmel de Sin. Carmel de Sin is an emote and is perhaps the rarest emote ever obtainable in the game, as you could have only gotten it from version 0.70 during the first Christmas update 2 years ago. To have gotten this, you would have needed to be on the island's map and find this house with a multicolored flashing window and simply click it to get the emote. It's not necessarily the hardest task, but it's so limited and pretty old it has become rare to see anyone with it. So if you have Carmel de Sin, good job. Rango Workshop. Rango Workshop is a melee item that is only obtainable from getting the Gone Ports badge in the game Midnight Horrors as part of their collab, making it one of the most unique items to get in the game. It's a pretty cool but underwhelming unlock, as the item's functionality is one that is hard to hit with, dealing 20 damage and 3 attacks, dashing back and forth and causing bleeding with a 6-second cooldown. Also, I don't have this. I don't like that I don't have it. I could have gotten it. Zeroz leaving JPX Studio. Zeroz, one of the founding developers of JPX Studio and Item Asylum, officially left the studio under his own terms on June 10th, 2024. It was done on his own terms after working at the studio for 4 years. Zeroz, thank you. We salute you. Old Item Asylum. Old Item Asylum can refer to both just the older version of Item Asylum or the game Old Item Asylum, which is a recreation of Item Asylum from version 0 to 4. Serious Asylum. In April Fool's 2024, Item Asylum would be updated to the version 1.5.5, giving us the glorious mess known as Serious Asylum, which I actually made a video on. Go watch that. This update basically completely warped every single item into a crazy warped version of itself, and even added new stuff like the Sigma Fire. Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. Blood, Sweat, and Pixels is another randomizer game which is honestly incredibly unique compared to every other Roblox randomizer game. This game has about every single thing, looking straight at a pixel gun 3D, and the maps are everything about the game and are actually pretty well polished and good looking, making it a rare high quality randomizer game. Apologist and Hellion. Apologist and Hellion are 2 removed items which basically did the same thing. They summon a yellow car which would ram into enemies and deal a bunch of damage and fling enemies far. Originally it began with the private server Apologist, but then the item got removed for whatever reason. Anyways, the item would make a return as Hellion with a new model, but would be removed again because Hot Rider decided to take its place. The Squat emote. Squat was an emote that cost 1,250 coins and looked like this. It was a pretty whatever emote, all things considered. It was removed in version 14.0 because the source material for the Squat comes from a disgraced Roblox YouTuber, Notive, who also committed pretty disgusting acts that have basically been talked to death already. This emote will never come back, and it's for a pretty good reason. Purgatory. Hopefully you guys don't know this and have never been here, but Purgatory is a game that you can be teleported to in Item Asylum, but only with the help of a mod, and you're only going to be teleported there if you've done something bad, such as hacking. All this game is a clown kidnapping you or something while screaming with the very loud music in the background. Spooky.
You made it to the end. Good job. Thanks, Basic, for doing those last 2 layers, by the way. Go subscribe to him if you haven't already. Yeah, anyways, this video was really fun to do, and it's completely different to what I usually do. So if you enjoyed it, thank you, genuinely. Also, massive thanks to anyone who's watched my channel for a while, because this voice reveal thing is something I'm not used to doing over random people on the internet. So it's a huge step up for this channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using my voice for every video from now on, but I'll definitely use it for some videos. Once again, thanks for watching, sub and join my Discord server, have a good night, and see ya.